What is up, everybody? This is Jesse Lee, and in this video we're talking about Klaviyo lists and segments. I'm really excited for this. Is a request video to talk about the differences between lists and segments. Now this is part of our Klaviyo email tutorial series, and it's an update video. This is part 3C. If you don't know, there's 6 main parts to this. I've got a playlist. It's multiple parts, and each of these parts has multiple videos in it. So I'm going to link the whole guide below, so check that out if you want to see those other videos. Also, one last thing before we get started. This is a video requested by YouTube user Joshua Ken. Wanted to give that shout out and tell you if you have questions about Klaviyo or any other of these online marketing tools you see on my channel, ask me in the comments. I will make videos for you and I will give you shout outs. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. Lists and segments. So what's the difference between a list and segment? Well, you can think of lists sort of like file cabinets of contacts, right? So let's say you're working at a hospital or maybe a doctor's office, right? And for every person who comes in, you have to get their contact information. You also have to collect a bit of information about them. Maybe you collect their birthday. Maybe you collect the type of medication they buy regularly, whatever it is. You put it in there, you put it in that file cabinet, it never gets deleted permanently unless for some reason you go in and you delete that, right? So this is sort of like what lists are inside of Klaviyo. So if we go to our Klaviyo lists, you'll see I have a few different segments here, and you see there are lists. Now I have one, I think it's called master list. In general, Klaviyo recommends only 1 or 2 master lists, and the reason I say 2 is because 1 would be for email, and then if you also started using SMS, oops, not AMA, SMS, you might have 1 for SMS subscribers. Now, the only other time you should be using lists, really, if you're not collecting SMS subscribers on a list or on your email list, you'll notice this one is fictional SMS subscribers. This was an example video where I actually showed you how to upload contacts, right, from another SMS provider. So if you're coming over from, let's say, MailChimp, or I don't know, maybe you're coming over from another email provider and you need to get the contacts inside, you would upload them as a list. But once they're uploaded, in general, anytime you collect people through acquisition forms, you're going to be putting them on your main, either your SMS list or your main email list, which I have labeled as master list. And this information never gets deleted unless you actually come in here and delete the list, or if you go into the individual list and delete this contact, right? There's only one person on this list, but you can delete profiles, but I never recommend doing that. Well, why, Jesse, wouldn't you recommend doing that? Well, the reason is you have unique targeting capabilities that I'll talk about when I'm done talking about segments, because segments play into this. But just know that if people unsubscribe from your master list, whether it's SMS or email, you do have the ability to try to engage them in the future without actually messaging them in a very, very powerful way using segments. So that's what I want to talk about next. All right, so again, just to review before we move on to segments, lists are like a file cabinet full of contacts that the contact information stays there forever. Even if the people never come back, they say, hey, I'm going to a different hospital. Hey, I don't want you to contact me anymore. You still have their contact information as records that they were there in the past, and you have information on them, right? Now, that's lists. So what is a contact? I mean, sorry, not a contact. We all know what a contact is. Oh, man, I haven't had enough coffee today. Okay, what are segments? Not contacts. What are segments? Well, segments, they're sort of like making copies and folders of contacts from that file cabinet based on criteria you set. So again, going back to the hospital example, and the reason I chose a hospital example is because, as you can see, these people are in medical clothes, and they have a copy of paper they're both looking at. So it's like they made a copy, right? So what segments are is they're lists. I mean, I don't want to call them lists. They're groupings of contacts based on criteria that you set. All right, so think of it like this. You're a doctor or a nurse or whatever you are at a doctor's office or a hospital, and you say, okay, let's say doctor's office. That's a good one. We want to collect all of the information of everyone in this this file cabinet. We want to reach out to everyone who we know needs an annual checkup for their heart because they have high cholesterol. So we want to find everyone who's in that age range that's typically starts to happen. I don't know what it is. I just use the age of 50 here. I really have no idea what time you're supposed to get checked for cholesterol, which probably means I'm going to die from a heart attack at some point because I really am bad about going to the doctor. This has become a horrible example. Anyway, moving on. So the doctor might say, hey, assistant, maybe as an assistant, and he says, hey, we need to contact everyone who's 50 years old. So can you make copies of everyone in this file cabinet that is 50 years old? And what we're going to do is we're going to send out the annual reminder for them, right? And every year from now on, we're going to send out like maybe a monthly reminder. Say, hey, you got to come get your checkup. And then once they get done with the checkup, you stop, sending them notifications for the year. Maybe you stop sending them snail mail, right? So do you see how this is different? This is more dynamic based on the parameters that you set. Okay, you tell Klaviyo, and by the way, Klaviyo acts like the assistant. I put that here. Klaviyo is going to be the one, you tell Klaviyo to do this, and it will do it for you automatically. And the reason I like this age example is because once somebody turns, well, like if somebody's 49, Klaviyo is going to know. Klaviyo has diligent records of everyone in here who is every age that they have contact information. Now, maybe you don't have the age of all your customers, but you have other information like what have they purchased on your site and what haven't they purchased on your site, right? When's the last time they actually opened an email or a text? When's the time they were active on your site? Really important information like that. What categories do they check out often? So Klaviyo keeps all of this data so you can see exactly who is doing what, right? So, this is really great. This is like a really good example of a segment because once somebody's 49, they wouldn't be on the segment, and as soon as they turn 50, boom, Klaviyo will say, oh, their birthday is today. We got to put them in the 50-year-old age range. We'll go make a copy of them in this file cabinet, and we'll put them on the list of people who are older than 50 so that we can contact them every year. So that's what a segment is. It's dynamic, right? And let's say maybe you don't want to do everyone who's 50 and older. Maybe you have a special message just for those 50-year-olds, right? Maybe there's one major thing they need to get checked out to determine if they need to get, their heart checked for the next 10 years. So you say, okay, well, Klaviyo, I don't want to do everyone who's older than 50. I want to do everyone who's exactly 50 years old. In which case, once they turn 51, Klaviyo will remove them from this segment. So it's really, really powerful. So you could do things based on date, based on when people subscribe, all sorts of things. So let me give you a really quick example, right? So I'm going to show you this is a mock shop. I've used this example in other videos. You probably recognize this. But you notice I have a bunch of golden retriever paraphernalia on this website because I love golden retrievers because they're the best dog. And I'm sorry if you are offended by that, but it's true. So let's say I want to run a campaign for this particular golden retriever t-shirt, right? And this might take a little bit to load. And let's say I want to segment by anybody who's viewed this, right? So I can actually viewed but not purchased, right? So what I can do is I can come into my lists and segments. We'll go over to lists and segments. And we can create a segment. And we could say, okay, people who viewed golden retriever definition t-shirt but didn't purchase, or add to cart. Add to cart. Right? Maybe they viewed it, but they didn't add it to their cart or purchase. All right? So you could say what someone has or hasn't done. And we're going to say viewed product. And if you have this synced up the right way, I give this in other videos how to sync your account up with your storefront. I want to say, okay, maybe they viewed this once in the last 30 days, right? And then I can add the filter for the product. Choose property, and notice this, oh, it's not autofilling. Oh, yeah, here we go. So we're going to go product name, and this should autofill. So as you can see, a few different things pop up here. So This is somebody who I want to say they viewed this product and did not purchase. Properties about someone. Oh, so placed order. Did not. So we want to say 0 times in the last 30 days. So we know they viewed this product, and we could even say, maybe they added this product. Although with this I would actually use an abandoned cart flow instead of this. But you could do again. Actually, I would do or up here. This is what I do. Viewed this product or added to cart at least once in the last 30 days. So now I found everyone who viewed this or added to the cart but didn't make a purchase. And when I create this segment, added a condition. I create this segment, watch what happens. Klaviyo will go, now this is going to be 0 members because this is a dummy account, and this, if you look at this, this is a terrible URL that the store is not actually published. I mean, it's published on a private URL. That's why it looks like that. So this is telling me there's not anybody in this list yet. It's because I just don't have anybody in my, this is a dummy account and this is the dummy store. So, but now if I did have those people on here, this would autofill, right? So now if I go into lists and segments, you can see people who viewed Golden Retriever t-shirt but didn't purchase. Now this is pretty awesome. So this, what you would do here if you wanted to send a campaign to these people, you just go to campaigns and you say create campaign. Let's just make an SMS campaign. I'm not going to run through the whole campaign process, but I just wanted to show you the targeting options in here. You could say people who, your segment will be in here, people who viewed the Golden Retriever definition t-shirt but didn't purchase or add to cart, right? So now that targeting is super, super powerful. So now I can just go to continue content and I could create a whole email based around this one thing and only send to this niche segment of people who didn't purchase. All right? Now, isn't that awesome? That's super powerful. Super, super powerful. Now, I know I told you there was going to be a trick about how you can use suppress profiles on your list, right? How you can use lists and segments for very, very powerful targeting. So we have, let's just go back to the master list, for example, right? We have this master list, and I told you, oh, we're actually running up on time. Okay, I told you I'm going to have to make another video on this, so we'll do that. But basically, I told you that we'd be able to utilize the people who are actually not subscribed, right? So they're on your master list. We've kept their information, but for some reason they've unsubscribed, and so now they're suppressed. All right, this is super, super powerful. This is what we're going to talk about. Again, we're running up on time, so I'm going to do it in the next video. If you have any questions about this, go ahead and comment in the section below, and I will answer. Also, when I get a chance, I'm going to put a free email marketing guide in the description, and if I can figure out how to get it on the screen, I'll also put it up here, so you can just click over there. And for this this next video, I want you to click down in the right-hand corner below where we talk about how to use unsubscribed segments, people who are suppressed, and we're able to interact with them and target them without them actually being subscribed. It's very, very powerful. So go ahead and click this, the down right-hand corner. And also the full playlist is up in the top right-hand corner. So click on that if you want to see the full playlist with this. All right. I'll talk to you all in the next video.